आप सभी से निवेदन है अपने अपने स्थान लें। हमारे विशिष्ट अतिथि हमारे इस सत्र के यहाँ पंडाल में पहुँच रहे हैं, पहुँच गए हैं। आप सभी से निवेदन है शांति बनाए रखें और जोरदार तालियों के साथ स्वागत करेंगे हमारे विशिष्ट अतिथियों का यहाँ विवेकानंद मंडप में 5वीं भारतीय छात्र संसद के इस सत्र में। मैं निवेदन करूंगी अपने विशिष्ट अतिथियों से कि मंच पर अपना स्थान ग्रहण करें। तालियों की गड़गड़ाहट के बीच मैं बताना चाहूंगी हमारे आज के विशिष्ट अतिथि श्री विमान बनर्जी, अध्यक्ष वेस्ट बंगाल विधानसभा। हमारे साथ श्री के नटवर सिंह जी, पूर्व विदेश मंत्री, लेखक, डॉक्टर के.एस. रंगाप्पा, वाइस चांसलर यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ मैसूर, यहाँ मंच पर पधार रहे हैं। उनके साथ महेश तापसे जी, प्रवक्ता एनसीपी, भारतीय छात्र संसद के मंच पर पहुंच गए हैं। हम उनका हार्दिक अभिनंदन और स्वागत करते हैं। और आज के इस सत्र की हम शुरुआत करेंगे। जैसे कि आप सब जानते हैं, ये सत्र हमारा आज का टेम्पल्स ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी अंडर सीज, अ ग्लोबल पर्सपेक्टिव, लोकतंत्र के मंदिर क्या सिमट रहे हैं, क्या संकुचित हो रहे हैं, क्या लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाओं पर एक खतरा मंडरा रहा है, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय परिवेश क्या है, परिदृश्य क्या है। आज इस सत्र में हमारे विशिष्ट मेहमान हमसे मुखातिब होंगे। हमारे युवा छात्र नेता हमसे मुखातिब होंगे 5वीं भारतीय छात्र संसद के इस सत्र में। जैसे कि आप जानते हैं, MIT के स्कूल ऑफ गवर्नमेंट का भारतीय छात्र संसद का ये इनिशिएटिव 5 साल पहले इसके संयोजक श्री राहुल कराड़ जी ने शुरू किया था। और इस मंच का उद्देश्य एक ही था मित्रों, कि कैसे हम युवाओं को, छात्रों को और राजनीति को आपस में जोड़ सकते हैं। और उसी का परिचय आज इस सत्र में हमारे बीच हमारे विशिष्ट अतिथि पहुंचे हैं। मित्रों, 5 साल का ये सफर हमने तय किया है और इस बीच बहुत से लोग हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं, छात्र संसद की इस परिकल्पना के साथ जुड़े हैं, इस कॉन्सेप्ट के साथ जुड़े हैं। आज उनको याद करने का वक्त भी हमारे साथ है, क्योंकि कुछ ऐसे भी लोग हैं जिन्होंने हमारा साथ अब छोड़ दिया है और दुनिया से अलविदा ले ली है। हमें प्रेरणा और सहयोग उनका मिला, हम उन्हें याद कर रहे हैं। गोपीनाथ मुंडे जी, भाजपा के वरिष्ठ नेता, जिन्हें हमने पिछले साल खो दिया। MIT के स्कूल ऑफ गवर्नमेंट से, कॉन्सेप्ट से लगातार जुड़े रहे। इसके अलावा जाने माने अंतर्राष्ट्रीय राजनीतिज्ञ विलियम शीजा भी अब हमारे बीच नहीं रहे हैं। कॉमनवेल्थ पार्लियामेंट्री एसोसिएशन के पूर्व सेक्रेटरी जनरल श्री विलियम शीजा भारतीय छात्र संसद के साथ लगातार जुड़े रहे थे। हमें उनको भी खो दिया, लेकिन उनकी यादें हमारे साथ हैं। मैं गुजारिश करूंगी भारतीय छात्र संसद के संयोजक श्री राहुल कराड़ जी से कि अपनी श्रद्धांजलि देते हुए उनकी कुछ स्मृतियां हमारे साथ बांटें।
मुझे बड़ा दुख है, मतलब ये बताना ज़रूरी इसलिए है इस अवसर के ऊपर कि वी नो महाराष्ट्र इन लास्ट 2 years वी लॉस्ट सम इम्पोर्टेंट लीडर्स, बाला साहेब ठाकरे जी, बट दिस ईयर श्री गोपीनाथ मुंडे जी को हमने सबने यहाँ पे श्रद्धांजलि देने की एक हमारे कमेटी ने सबने सोचा। और दूसरी व्यक्ति जो आप सब लोग जानते नहीं होंगे, बट ही इज़ अ वेल नोन द कॉमनवेल्थ पार्लियामेंट्री एसोसिएशन के जो चेयरमैन जो रहे, विलियम शीजा। I request, I think his photograph just 6 months before I met him in UK, London. I had a very elaborate discussion. You all know that CPA is a very important body. पूरे वर्ल्ड के सभी पार्लियामेंट्स को जो कॉमनवेल्थ कंट्रीज है उसका एक एसोसिएशन है, उसका नाम है कॉमनवेल्थ पार्लियामेंट्री एसोसिएशन। और उसके विलियम शीजा जी चेयरमैन रह चुके हैं। काफ़ी साल उन्होंने वर्ल्ड वाइड लोकतंत्र को, डेमोक्रेसी को प्रमोट करने का काम किया है। वो दिल्ली में पढ़े लिखे हैं, कुछ उनका समय बीता था उनके यंग ज़माने में, तो उन्होंने मुझे कमिट किया Mr. Karad, I would like to come to India, participate in this parliament. He knows worldwide maybe 1,000 parliamentarians, they respect him as a Director General Chairman of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. There is another very important body, which is an international body called Inter-Parliamentary Union. तो इन सब bodies का इसमें समर्थन है, support है. और मुझे दुख होता है कि मतलब आज इस वक्त शायद इस पर्टिकुलर सेशन में हमारे बीच में वो यहाँ पे होते. मैं आप सब लोगों को विनती करता हूँ कि ये दो विभूतियाँ, इनको हम 1 मिनट उठ के लोकतंत्र के लिए उन्होंने जो लाइफ टाइम काम किया और भारतीय छात्र संसद का भी एक वही हमारा मकसद है, तो मैं चाहता हूँ कि आप सब लोग उनको श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करें फॉर 1 मिनट. थैंक यू.
दिवंगत आत्माओं की इस स्मृति के साथ ही हम अपना ये कार्यक्रम और आगे बढ़ाएंगे. जैसे कि आप जानते हैं, आज के हमारे सत्र के विशिष्ट मेहमान हमारे साथ यहाँ मंच पर मौजूद हैं. सबसे पहले अपनी परंपरा के अनुसार स्वागत अभिनंदन हमारे विशिष्ट मेहमानों का. सबसे पहले माननीय श्री बिमान बनर्जी, अध्यक्ष वेस्ट बंगाल विधानसभा. मैं अनुरोध करूंगी डॉक्टर विश्वनाथ कराड़ जी से कि श्री बिमान बनर्जी जी का स्वागत अभिनंदन करें 5वीं भारतीय छात्र संसद में. हमारे बीच श्री के नटवर सिंह जी, पूर्व विदेश मंत्री और जाने माने लेखक हमारे बीच. हम उनका भी स्वागत अभिनंदन भारतीय छात्र संसद के इस मंच पर डॉक्टर विश्वनाथ कराड़ जी के हाथों और आपकी तालियों के बीच. हमारे बीच डॉक्टर के.एस. रंगापा, वाइस चांसलर यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ मैसूर, जाने माने शिक्षाविद. हम उनका भी स्वागत अभिनंदन करते हैं हमारे आज के इस सत्र में.
आओ अब कुछ बात करेंगे, मिलजुल कर अब काम
हमारे बीच महेश तापसे जी, प्रवक्ता एनसीपी पार्टी, यहाँ मौजूद है मंच पे. हम उनका भी अभिनंदन करते हैं.
तब जाकर कुछ बात बनेगी, जनहित की शुरुआत बनेगी भारतीय छात्र संसद.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. आप सभी अपने अपने स्थान ग्रहण करें. सभी विशिष्ट मेहमान अपना स्थान ग्रहण करें. तो आज का हमारा सत्र टेम्पल्स ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी अंडर सीज, अ ग्लोबल पर्सपेक्टिव. मित्रों, आप सब जानते हैं कि हमारा तो मंच ही ऐसा है जहां पर हम लोकतांत्रिक परंपराओं और अपने लोकतंत्र को मजबूत करने के लिए अपने युवाओं के साथ एक संवाद करते हैं. और हमारी कोशिश यही रहती है कि हमारी लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाएं और मजबूत हों, प्रबल हों और हमारे युवाओं की भागीदारी उसमें बढ़े. आप देख रहे हैं विश्व का जो परिदृश्य बन रहा है इस समय, चारों तरफ अगर आप नजर दौड़ाएं तो कभी कभी ये सोचकर मन ठिठक कर रह जाता है कि लोकतंत्र की संस्थाएं आज किस दौर से गुजर रही हैं. कितने ही देशों में हम अनरेस्ट देख रहे हैं, कितने ही देशों में हम सिविल युद्ध की स्थितियों को भोगते हुए देख रहे हैं. दुनिया में आतंकवाद जिस प्रकार से अपना सर उठा रहा है, उसका उदाहरण पहले तो भारत देश ये कहता था कि हम आतंकवाद से ग्रस्त हैं, पर दुनिया का कोई देश अब ऐसा बचा नहीं है जिसने आतंकवाद की यातना और उस पीड़ा को, उस दर्द को भोगा ना हो। भारत में हम देखें, नक्सलवाद अपना सर उठा रहा है। कितनी घटनाएं रोज अखबारों की सुर्खियां बनती हैं, लेकिन नक्सलवाद देश में पनप रहा है। हम देखें, हमारे लोकतंत्र के मंदिर, हमारी संसद, हमारी विधानसभाएं, वहां की स्थिति आप देखें तो कई बार हैरानी होती है, दुख होता है, अचरज होता है कि क्या यही लोकतंत्र है जिसका सपना हमारे उन फ्रीडम फाइटर्स ने देखा था। जिस तरह की सिर फुटव्वल हम देखते हैं, एक दूसरे के ऊपर कुर्सियां, माइक तक उछाले जाते हैं, असंसदीय भाषा का इस्तेमाल किया जाता है, क्या ये लोकतंत्र की कल्पना हमने की थी? शायद नहीं। आज हम देखते हैं लोकतंत्र की सबसे बड़ी शक्ति क्या होती है कि आप विरोध की आवाज को सुन सकें, आप डिसेंट को सुन सकें, आप असहमति को इज्जत दें। लेकिन दुनिया भर में आज देखा गया है कि ये डिसेंट की आवाज या सहमति की आवाज कुचली जाती है। ये तमाम ऐसे संकट हैं जो आज हम अपने लोकतंत्र पर, दुनिया भर के लोकतंत्र पर जिसे मंडराते हुए देख रहे हैं। इस खतरे के एहसास को हम सब देख रहे हैं और इसी वजह से आज के सत्र का हमने विषय ये चुना है। हम जानना चाहते हैं हमारे युवाओं के विचार इस पर क्या है, हम जानना चाहते हैं हमारे विशिष्ट अतिथि इस पर क्या कुछ सोचते हैं। और मित्रों, एक कर्टेन रेजर दुनिया भर के इसी परिदृश्य को दिखाता हुआ, आइए पहले उस पर नजर डाल लें और उसके बाद विधिवत रूप से अपना ये सत्र हम शुरू करें। एक कर्टेन रेजर।
I protest because I demand my rights.
I protest because I think Egyptians need change.
I protest against political corruption.
I protest against injustice.
बीहड़ में बागी होते हैं, डकैत मिलते हैं पार्लियामेंट में।
मैं ऐसे लोकतंत्र में विश्वास नहीं करता जो गरीबों की इज्जत करना नहीं जानता।
देश मेरा रंगरेजिए बाबू, घाट घाट यहाँ घटता जादू।
लाई पहाड़ है कंकर शंकर,
बात है छोटी बड़ा पतंगर। लाई पहाड़ है कंकर शंकर, बात है छोटी बड़ा पतंगर।
अरे इंडिया सर ये चीज धुरंधर,
इंडिया सर ये चीज धुरंधर। रंग रंगीला बर जातंतर, रंग रंगीला बर जातंतर।
बड़ी अजीब चीज है ये सियासतदान, ये पॉलिटिशियन। खुद से चला नहीं जाता, देश को चला रहे। अरे रिटायर्ड हो जाओ भाई, सभी हो जाते हैं। कह रहा था सभी रिटायर्ड हो जाते हैं, आप हो गए, वकील भी, क्लर्क भी हो जाते हैं, मैनेजर भी होते हैं, दुकानदार भी हो जाते हैं, पूंजीपति, इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट भी, जब उनकी अगली जनरेशन तैयार हो जाती है। सिर्फ पॉलिटिशियंस रिटायर्ड नहीं होते जब तक वो मरते नहीं या मार नहीं दिए जाते।
यहाँ शिलू पिडुलुदु अबांडो अदु लुदु असिया वे पोएजिहा पिडुलुदु ये संदागो तेगा बालोंगा ती आओ तो पोपियाता लाइदा बाबे ने चिंपादे असिया वे जी गादो पिडुलुदु ते अलोंहा हातीजोन डेमोक्रेसी सनेको याजी ने दे संदा पिंपिया ने दे जामो चिंपाया दे असिया वे जी पियापादे।
तो ये है हमारे आज के सत्र का विषय जिसे हमने आपके सामने रखा। और आइए अब शुरुआत करें। प्रारंभिक उद्बोधन के लिए मैं आमंत्रित करूंगी यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ मैसूर के वाइस चांसलर साहब, जाने माने शिक्षाविद माननीय डॉक्टर के.एस. रंगप्पा को, कि वो प्रारंभिक उद्बोधन दें और अपने विचारों से हमें अवगत कराएं। डॉक्टर के.एस. रंगप्पा।
Good afternoon, everyone. Learned, the founder, president of the Institute, Sri Vishwanath Karat, Sri Bhiman Banerjee, Sri K. Natwar Singh Ji, Rahul V. Karat, Mahesh Tapase, and other dignitaries on the dais, of the dais, students, ladies and gentlemen, media friends. It's indeed an honor for me to be here to address the open declaration of these temples of democracy and seas, a global perspective. First of all, I express my deep sense of gratitude to the organizers of the institution. It's really a daunting task to say things that would make an impact on the audience within the time of duration of 3 to 5 minutes, especially considering the panel of organizers that includes such eminent people who are on the dais. Through their words of wisdom have been inspiring our society since decades. When I recall that they have extended invitation to me for a cause and purpose which are so nobly intended, exceptionally intense, and extraordinarily vast, my responsibility becomes all the more challenging. It's indeed heartening to note that this 3-day conference is an academic and a non-political exercise, and it is aimed at making the youth of this nation vibrant and energetic partners in the process of nation building. As a starting point, let me allude to the founder of Bharatiya Chhat Sansad, Sri Rahul V. Karat and Vishwanath Karat, which were very pertinent and significant. He says, many youths are living through pessimism and negativity. Some of this is natural, as we have been experiencing a revolution of rising expectations. Hopes are high, but are often not realized. They breeds cynicism, but by remaining in isolation and drawing negative notions and perceptions toward politicians and political parties will not address issues. We all talk about the change we want in governance, but are not willing to contribute where it matters the most. Transparent and accountable governance will remain a far-fetched idea unless spirited, educated, and trained young men and women participate in political and democratic process. Sri Karat, she absolutely right in drawing our attention to the importance of being less cynical and more purposive in our attitude to nation building. Democracy is really under siege, considering the attacks it is subjected to from all sides. Our planet, formed by 2 hemispheres, contain within itself an inbuilt inequality where the north is relatively affluent while the south strains itself to come to terms with many problems. Abraham Lincoln gave the most appropriate definition of democracy when he said, it's for people, by the people, and of the people. People are pivot around which democracy revolves. An attempt to undermine the people would inevitably result in chaos and disorderliness. Therefore, humanity is extended with many forms of government and finally settled down for democracy as it offers maximum opportunities for people's participation. We are a nation of overwhelming youth population, and this is definitely a boon and not a bane. Therefore, I call upon the young men and women to contemplate on the solutions to the problems prevalent in various walks of life so that we will give up to the promise. I thank the stalwarts who have given me the opportunity to address you. I am sure you are going to contribute a great deal for the betterment of our society. I look forward to very exciting sessions today and tomorrow. Thank you, one and all.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद डॉक्टर के.एस. रंगप्पा। और भारतीय छात्र संसद की हमारी ये एक परंपरा सी बन गई है कि हम विधान सभा के अध्यक्ष महोदयों को यहाँ बुलाते हैं। ये बहुत बड़ी बात है। वो हमारे बीच आते हैं, टाइम स्पेंड करते हैं, आप लोगों से मुखातिब होते हैं, बात करते हैं। और ऐसे ही आज एक और अध्यक्ष विधान सभा के वेस्ट बंगाल के हमारे बीच हैं, माननीय बिमान बनर्जी जी। और सादर आमंत्रित करना चाहेंगे माननीय बिमान बनर्जी जी को आएं और हमें संबोधित करें 5वीं भारतीय छात्र संसद को। आपकी तालियों के बीच माननीय बिमान बनर्जी जी।
श्री विश्वनाथ करात जी, श्री राहुल करात जी, former Union Minister, Sri K. Natwar Singh ji, and the former Speaker, who is the Vice Chancellor of University, one of the universities, Mahesh Tapasi, and other dignitaries on the dais, students, ladies and gentlemen. It is my proud privilege to be here to attend this session of Bharatiya Janata Chhatra Sansad, which aims at creating an environment inspiring educated youth of our country to participate in democratic polity, to embrace public life, with a view to strengthening the democratic fabric of our nation. I congratulate all who have associated with this effort for their achievements in this important field of nation's development. Before delving into the subject Temples of Democracy Under Siege, a global perspective, allow me a moment here to recall my connection with this topic. As the Speaker of West Bengal Legislative Assembly, I have been entrusted with the House to preserve its dignity, honor, and sagacity. Naturally, when I am to speak on the topic, Temples of Democracy Under Siege, a force rises from within my consciousness to free the Temple of Democracy from siege. But at the same time, there is no denying of the fact that current and cross currents are visible and are trying to undermine the temples of democracy by bringing them under siege. The etymological definition of democracy is that it is the rule of the people. Abraham Lincoln, in his address at the dedication of the National Cemetery at Gettysburg on 19th November 1863, stated, "Government of the people, by the people, for the people, and shall not perish from the earth." He further observed, "As I would not be a slave, so I would not be a master." This expresses my idea of democracy. Whatever differs from this, to the extent of the difference, is no democracy. Professor Earnshaw, comparing dictatorship with democracy, observed, while democracy stands for the force of argument, dictatorship stands for argument of force. The most fundamental and far-reaching decision of the India's constitution makers was to establish democracy in India on the foundations of universal adult suffrage and on the principles of one man, one vote. The decision was simple and uncontroversial, yet it was by all means momentous and revolutionary, making every adult Indian citizen, irrespective of caste, sex, and economic and educational qualifications, a shareholder in India's democratic setup. It was apprehended that with appalling poverty, very high rate of growth of population, large scale of illiteracy, and cosmopolitan composition of population, India may sooner or later give way to autocratic system of government. The working of India's parliamentary democracy has not only belied all such fears and apprehensions, but it has stood the test of time. 16 general elections to parliament have been successfully conducted, and we have seen peaceful transfer of power for more than once from one party to another party or alliance. The Indian electorate has exercised their franchise with a fair degree of freedom and could overthrow an elected government. It assumes great importance in the sense when we see how much blood is shed and how many lives are sacrificed at the time of transfer of power in our neighboring countries. The fact has been noted and appreciated by the international community, the same community which was cynical 6 decades back when India began its journey on the path of parliamentary democracy. At the same time, our experience shows that during 6 decades of working on our parliamentary democracy, some aberrations have taken place, which is not only good for the health of the system. The challenges to overcome the aberrations come both from prevailing domestic and international conditions, as well as lack of adequate prerequisites for a smooth running of democracy. One of the adequate prerequisites for smooth running of democracy is obvious literacy. The level and quality of education of citizens is key to both the successful functioning of democracy and socio-economic development. The force now has to move from elevation of illiteracy to elimination of illiteracy. Literacy makes the citizen conscious of the principles of liberty and equality of all and ensures that the representatives elected by them to the temple of democracy represent all the interests of the society. Literacy is the prerequisite of quality education, which in turn includes the core values of love for motherland, compassion for all, tolerance for pluralism, respect for women, performance of duty, honesty in life, self-restraint in conduct, responsibility in action, and discipline in the young minds. Unless all these are achieved, there are bound to be apprehensions that temple of democracy may be under siege. On the social and political fronts too, casteism, regionalism, communalism, religious fanaticism, and fundamentalism, and forces with separate tendencies have been raising their ugly hands. These threatening the temple of democracy adversely. Casteism has played and is playing a negative role in the democratic political process as practiced today. In the era of globalization, caste consciousness has not been eroded in the society. On the other hand, the state consciousness has grown by gigantic proportions. As a result of mixing of caste and politics, politicization of caste and casteization of politics have assumed alarming proportions, posing a grave challenge to the temple of democracy. Communalism, racism, and religious fundamentalism is a tragic setback in the pattern of coexisting of multi-religious society. It destroys the political stability and glorious heritage of humanism and composite culture. Communalism as an ideology is resorted by some political parties to garner votes and consolidated its vote bank. In the process, one religious community is used against other communities for spreading hatred and has proved to be a great threat to the social and political life. The fundamentalists are opposed to any kind of progressive reforms, be it in the sphere of education or social or economic milieu or otherwise. In the process, they forget that religious fundamentalism and communism is a vicious circle. The cry of one religion community in danger for consolidating one's vote bank is bound to give rise, pampering the sentiments of other religious community by another political party to consolidate its votes bank. The religious fundamentalists and the vice of communalism and racism could not have dared to touch the temple of democracy if the political parties had not used them directly or indirectly to influence the voters. Probably my time is going to be out. I don't know why this bell is ringing. Anyway, without taking much time, there are various other adversities which the present democracy field is facing. As the Speaker of West Bengal Legislative Assembly, I have less to speak, but I have more to hear. But here I am delivering before this august house about the siege, that the democracy, temples of democracy is under siege. And as a matter of fact, I have experienced that nowadays there is a growing tendency among the members of the legislative party to disturb the proceeding of the house by shouting slogans, coming on the well, and disrupting the proceeding of the house, which is not very healthy for the democratic process. And the corruption is one of the main reasons why why the people of India nowadays feel that people with education should not go for politics. As a matter of fact, so far I am concerned, my daughters who are quietly educated, they also don't want that I should go in politics. because when they see the arena, there are several political leaders, they have been hauled up in criminal charges. They also are very scared that you should not go for politics. But that by itself will not strengthen democracy. There are hurdles in all spheres of life, everywhere. In spite of that, we have to come forward to strengthen democracy. Friends, you have seen the film Bhutnath Returns. You must have seen that a ghost, he comes forward to eradicate corruption by defeating one of the corrupt persons in election. So we should see that that scenario doesn't arise. The young students who have gathered here, my appeal to you that you should come forward to protect the interest of democracy, the sanctity of the democracy. And you can do so, and I firmly believe that we shall be able to overcome this crisis in the near future. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद अध्यक्ष महोदय आपके विचारों के लिए। और अब भारतीय छात्र संसद के इस मंच से बारी है हमारे युवा विधायक को पुरस्कृत करने की। आप जानते हैं ये भारतीय छात्र संसद का इनिशिएटिव है कि वो युवा विधायक जो कि अपने अपने क्षेत्रों में साइलेंटली काम कर रहे हैं, उनके कामों के बारे में हम सब जानें और उससे प्रेरणा लें। और आज हमारे बीच ऐसे ही एक युवा विधायक जिनका चयन किया गया है इस पुरस्कार के लिए, मैं उन्हें स्टेज पर आमंत्रित करना चाहूंगी। तनकू वेस्ट गोदावरी आंध्र प्रदेश से तेलुगु देशम पार्टी के विधायक अरेमिली राधा कृष्णा, आपकी तालियों के बीच मैं अरेमिली राधा कृष्णा जी को यहाँ सादर आमंत्रित करती हूँ। आपने जमीन से जुड़ी हुई राजनीति करने की ठानी और उसके चलते राजनीति में आप आए। युवाओं के साथ सशक्तिकरण की दिशा में आपने एक महत्वपूर्ण कार्य किया। गांव में पानी, अस्पताल और पुस्तकालय जैसी महत्वपूर्ण योजनाओं को आपने शुरू किया। हमें बहुत ही हर्ष है कि 5वीं भारतीय छात्र संसद में आज विधानसभा अध्यक्ष पश्चिम बंगाल सम्मानित कर रहे हैं आपकी तालियों के बीच। और हम निवेदन करेंगे कि 2 शब्द कहें श्री राधा कृष्ण।
It is a wonderful experience in front of the future leaders of India. I honored here to got this honor. Basically, I express my gratitude to the marvelous people of the Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad Foundation. It is a great honor for me to get this award in front of the thousands of young minds of future India. I feel that it is the rarest of the rare moment are these in my life. Basically, this is a different experience for me. I was in Singapore for 15 years. In 2013, I came back and entered into politics. Then I got the opportunity to contest from the assembly through the Telugu Desam Party under the leadership of Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Sri Nara Chandrababu Naidu. I dedicate this award to the youth in my constituency, Thanuku in West Godavari, and the TDP party which gave me opportunity to stand in front of you. Our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi ji, his dream for Swachh Bharat now. It's not only cleanliness of our homes, our villages, or our country. It is the responsibility of youth to clean the governance, democracy, politics, and the country. I hope you can do. I'm sure that the youth is the 50% of the population is youth in India. Now India set to become youngest nation in the world after 67 years of independence. The future is yours. India's future is in your hands. Together, we can do wonders and make this country a developed country, not anymore a developing country. I believe you can do it. Thank you for me opportunity giving me this opportunity.
थैंक यू वेरी मच। अरे मेली राधा कृष्णा जी, बहुत बहुत बधाई के साथ आपका अभिनंदन करते हुए आगे बढ़ेंगे हम, और इस मंच से आप सभी अपने अपने स्थान ग्रहण करें। और जैसे कि हम जानते हैं कि ये मंच युवाओं को एक आवाज़ देने का है, और हमने एक ऐसे युवा विधायक की आवाज़ को सुना जो राजनीति में आए, चुनाव लड़ा, जीते और आज काम कर रहे हैं। और ऐसे ही कुछ और युवा साथी हमारे बीच, उनके विचारों को हम आज के विषय पर सुनना चाहेंगे। हमारे साथ रोहन मीरपुरे, जो कि मुंबई से आते हैं, अपनी बात को रखेंगे आज के सत्र के विषय पर। मैं आमंत्रित करती हूँ रोहन मीरपुरे। तालियों के साथ आप अपने साथी का मनोबल बढ़ाएं।
I believe that the greatest of India's many gifts to the world is the example its people have set from midnight to millennium. Almost every challenge known to humanity can be found here in India, and almost every solution to every challenge can be found here as well. Confidence in democracy, tolerance for diversity, and a willingness to embrace social change. A very good afternoon to one and all present here today. When it opened more than 6 decades ago, it was a highly revered institution packed with stalwarts who won freedom for India. As the Indian Parliament celebrates 63 years, analysts admit that disorder has become the order of the day in both the houses of Parliament. Cabinet Minister Veerbhadra Singh, who entered the Lok Sabha in 1962, had stated that disruptions on small issues never happened earlier. Now, this is the rule rather than the exception. So is it the case that the Indian Parliament is under siege and transforming from the temple of democracy as it was meant to be to the current day house of disorder? Political analyst S. Nihal Singh agreed that the standard of debate was much higher earlier and said that there is much less real debate now and much more of noise and disturbance. In 2015, parliaments are more prevalent in the world than ever before. 190 countries have some sort of functioning parliament, accounting for over 46,000 representatives. A parliament is not synonymous with democracy, but a democracy cannot exist without a parliament. The representative role of political parties, which is central to parliamentary functioning, is in many countries weak and poorly rooted in society. Where parliaments were once the single most important way to articulate public concern, now they are competing with a variety of alternatives. The Global Parliament report has stated that there was a stark recognition that the low public trust was because of the parliament's own shortcomings, and any attempt at an outreach would have to begin with the parliament improving its own functioning. In that context, measures to improve public confidence include strengthening the Committee on Legislative Oversight, establishing Committee on Public Petitions, consolidating the Constituency Development Fund, and introducing tighter policing to improve the conduct of behavior in the Parliament. All this said and done, it must be recognized that India is the largest democracy in the world, and this brings many challenges. The same has been illustrated in the Global Parliament report, which says that in India, there are 1.5 million people per parliamentarian in comparison to the United States, which has merely 590,000. Besides just the numbers, the diversity and multicultural society pose even greater threat to the efficient functioning of democracy. There is no doubt, my friends, that the temple of democracy is under siege. but my message is this. Our task is to turn a common vision into common achievements so that partners in spirit can be partners in fact. We have come a long way to this day of new beginnings, but we still have challenges to meet, hopes to redeem, and promises to keep. So let us seize this moment with humility in the fragile and fleeting nature of this life, with confidence in the power of the human spirit. Let us seize this moment not only for India, but for all those with whom we share this small planet, and for all those citizens whom we together can give such bright tomorrows. Thank you. Have a nice day.
थैंक यू वेरी मच रोहन मीरपुरे। और इस मंच से हम अभिनंदन करेंगे अपने इस युवा साथी का, इसका मनोबल बढ़ाने के लिए आपकी तालियों के बीच। रोहन मीरपुरे मुंबई से आते हैं एक होनहार युवा छात्र नेता के रूप में, आपकी तालियों के बीच। और मित्रों, हमें ये कहते हुए बड़ा हर्ष होता है, बहुत प्रसन्नता होती है, बहुत खुशी होती है कि हमारे बीच प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ तिब्बत इन एग्जाइल ऑनरेबल श्री डॉक्टर लॉबसांग सांगे जी मौजूद हैं। हम उनका बहुत बहुत स्वागत अभिनंदन करते हैं। वी वेलकम यू सर, द प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ तिब्बत इन एग्जाइल ऑनरेबल श्री डॉक्टर लॉबसांग सांगे। कल हम उन्हें सुनेंगे छठे सत्र में भारतीय छात्र संसद के। आपका यहाँ आने के लिए, अपना समय देने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, शुक्रिया। आगे बढ़ेंगे, हम अगले छात्र नेता को आवाज देंगे जो कि अफगानिस्तान से आते हैं। मित्रों, तालियां तो इसी बात पर बजनी चाहिए। अफगानिस्तान के छात्र यहाँ इस मंच पर, मिडसॉम कॉलेज, मोहम्मद जमान। मोहम्मद जमान अपनी बात कहेंगे।
Distinguished and honorable guests on the dais and dear students, good afternoon. I am Muhammad Zaman Khadimi from Afghanistan, a student of Midsom College. It gives me immense pleasure and I am truly honored to stand here and express my views on Temple of Democracy under such a global perspective. Democracy is the government of people, by the people and for the people, in which the supreme power is vested in people and exercised directly by them or by their elected agents under a free electoral system. Democracy is a universal right that does not belong to any specific country or specific regions. Hence, democracy and good governance are not luxury, but a fundamental requirement to achieve sustainable development. There are various institutions that have a critical role to play in promoting and strengthening of democracy in the world. Parliament. Parliament is a place where the elected members perform the duty of the people and participate in decision making and to select, control, guide and form the government. Press and media. Press and media also playing an important role in the strengthening of democracy and good governance. Press and media keep people informed of what is happening in parliament and government and communicate the people with parliament and government. Dear students and young leaders of India, today the democracy is facing with anti-democratic movement and misuse of power by leaders in the world. In India, parliamentary democracy, the ruling party has so much majority that it can get anything done. When the members of opposition ask questions and try to embarrass them, they are ignored because their numerical strength is negligible. When the members of parliament are elected, instead of doing their responsibility, they start appointing their family members, relatives, and party members in government posts and avoid tax for their own benefit. And this can be witnessed in most of the countries, especially in South Asian countries and Middle East countries. When the member of parliament are elected, when the ministers are introduced by the president and parliament, the first thing that parliament members are to think about ministers, whether from which ethnics they are related, or how they know this minister, or how they should take bribe from them, in order that we have not knowledge about the background of the ministers. That it will bring a huge harm to the future of democracy that we witness this situation in most of the countries in the world. I would like to conclude my speech with a few suggestions. A true democracy stands on its constitutions that it should be applicable to poor and rich people and government officials. And when we can get the benefit of democracy, when our leaders, people follow the constitutions. When they are misusing from their power, legal action should be taken against them as soon as prevent increasing of illegal action. There should be possibility of arising new political parties in parliament, because whatever parliament parties are increasing, the strength of democracy also increases. The spirit of democracy demands that there should be give and take, and there should not be political monopoly in the country, because the country is the combination of different parties that belongs to different cultures, different people, different caste, and different religion and different region. We must take into consideration, if we do not protect the democracy, democracy will not protect us. Thank you. Dhanyawad. Tashakkur shuma. Long live Afghanistan, India. Long live democracy and peace.
Thank you very much, Mohammad Zaman. मोहम्मद जमान अफगानिस्तान के युवा और भारतीय छात्र संसद के मंच पर हमने इनके विचारों को सुना। अभिनंदन करते हैं हम मोहम्मद जमान का 5वीं भारतीय छात्र संसद में बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन। और अब अगली वक्ता के रूप में एस सुहांजलि, जो कि नई दिल्ली से आती हैं, MIT SOG की स्टूडेंट एस सुहांजलि।
Many years back, Plato had talked of a drowning ship that was headed by an untrained captain. He said, this ship resembled our state and democracy. But the captain who's guiding this ship of democracy, that is our MLAs, MPs, or PM, if they are weak, then the state and people would drown with the ship. Namaste, Salaam Alaikum, Sat Shri Akal, and hello to all the present and future leaders sitting here. I am Suhanjali Shanta, standing here to talk on the topic, Temples of Democracy Under Siege. You all know about democracy. What about the temples of democracy? Temple here is a sacred space. It is related to religion only in that aspect where both religion and democracy are personal. And I want you all to feel democracy personal, because only then will you realize the true value of democracy. This temple of democracy is as sacred as a mandir is for a Hindu, as a mosque is for a Muslim, and as a church is for a Christian. Countries like India or US, where democracy is followed, parliament is the temple, and the ministers sitting in it, they are the priests, the medium through which we communicate to our God of democracy. Everyone wants to earn punya, and hence we believe that we need to maintain its sanctity. But what is happening? Because of some people who want to watch porn inside the sacred space, some people who throw chairs, scream their heads off, and say they want to play kabaddi inside it, and some people who call their opposition party members muttering idiots standing inside the sacred space. It is because of them, I repeat, that the entire face of democracy is being tarnished globally. ISIS, Al-Qaeda, 9/11, 26/11, they're all harming the process of natural justice prescribed by democracy. Justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. Where are they? Our sacred space is being violated, and what are we doing? Time has come for us all to knock the doors of our temples and tell our leaders, wake up, and remind them and ourselves to keep our temples clean. If anyone in our family commits a mistake, if one person even, we correct them, and Bharat believes the entire world to be its family, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, then we have every right to correct every one person who commits mistake by making use of our own Brahmastra, our vote, RTI, PIL, or media. Let me take you into a small flashback. I want you all to recollect that moment when Narendra Modi ji had bowed down before the Sansad, before he entered it. He didn't stand there as a BJP leader. He stood there as an individual, as a devotee to the God of democracy who was residing in that Sansad. Love and respect democracy, because it is this democracy that allows common people like you and me to dream of becoming bureaucrats, MLAs, MPs, or PMs. Time has come for us all to pick up our virtual broomsticks and join in Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. This one is not about keeping your streets clean. This one is about keeping your houses of democracy clean. I too stand in one such temple of democracy now, Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad, the Indian Student Parliament. And just like any mandir that has a bell, We too have a bell of democracy here. Even though I'm on this side of the podium, the actual platform of democracy is right in front of me. Because for this democracy, it is the people that is the Jan. They are the real source of power and wealth. You are the Janardhan of democracy. Realize this as a citizen and also by the role you carry in this temple. And don't use democracy as an auto rickshaw to get you into it whenever you want and get out of it whenever you please. Let us nourish this sapling of democracy together. With these thoughts, I leave you all to think upon. I continue to believe in democracy and I salute it, and I want you to do the same. Thank you.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और हम भी सैल्यूट करते हैं अपने लोकतंत्र को और अपने ऐसे युवाओं को जो इस तरह के विचार रखते हैं। यहाँ अभिनंदन करेंगे। आपकी तालियों की कमी से तो बात बनेगी नहीं। हौसला अफजाई के लिए शुक्रिया। और आपको मैं याद कराना चाहूंगी कि प्रश्नोत्तर का एक सेशन इस सत्र के अंत में हम करते हैं। आपके प्रश्नों का हमें इंतजार रहेगा। अपने पास के पोडियम में जाएं और अपना सवाल, अपना नाम और कहां से आप आते हैं उसके बारे में हमें बताएं। सत्र के अंत में अपने मुख्य वक्ताओं से हम उनके जवाब आपको दिलवाएंगे। आगे बढ़ते हैं और हमारे साथ कृतिका अय्यर इस समय मौजूद हैं, जो कि पालाकाड केरल से आती हैं। कृतिका अय्यर, उनका हम स्वागत करेंगे। आज के विषय पर अपने विचार रखेंगी।
It is said that civilization was first discovered when man carved a word instead of throwing a stone. It would seem, however, that our modern-day elected representatives have decided to travel back in time to the Stone Age. The ugly scenes from the hallowed halls of lawmaking of the Lok Sabha session in February 2014 prove undoubtedly that the biggest democracy in the world has been converted into nothing more than a banana republic. It has become regular practice to crush opposition view through procedural wrangles. Competitive politics has superseded national good. There is reluctance to give the government credit for good measures. And similarly, there is reluctance to share credit with those who reach a bi- or multi-party consensus. Regional parties have persuaded narrow political agenda to perpetuate their rule and protect their fiefdoms. This has caused irreparable harm to national interest, particularly in fields of defense and foreign policies. Brothers and sisters, I address you today on an issue of grave importance. Our sanctum sanctorum of democracy is under attack. This is not democracy in action, as many would have you believe it. This is vandalism and hooliganism, cowardly acts disguised as those of heroism. When, my people, will we put our feet down and say enough is enough? History shows us how democratic politics was born out of a human realization of the inability of wars and violence to settle conflicts. It is said that legislature was created so that people of differing political views and stands could come together under one roof and understand one another's differences through friendly discussions. Unfortunately, some people have decided to revert to pre-democratic barbarianism by storming the holy temples of democracy with their uncouth behavior. A political party that allows its members to behave in such crude and violent ways is in itself of questionable qualities. And if a country's laws can spare such undemocratic behavior, then the future of that country is equally doomed. Why is it imperative that we address this issue sooner than most others? To prevent the institution of democracy from exploding in our faces. Democracies are, on an average, richer than non-democracies, are less likely to go to war, and have a better history of fighting corruption. But more fundamentally, democracies let people speak their minds and shape their own and their children's futures. The fact that so many people in so many different parts of the world are willing to risk so much is in itself testimony to its enduring appeal. Democracies are not merely about winning elections and about engaging in power games, but are also about the willingness to accommodate conflicting views. If we wish to see any change in the 16th Lok Sabha, greater involvement and activism would be required from all stakeholders engaged in shaping public opinion. These include political parties, the media, civil society, and more importantly, the ethics committees and the presiding officers of both houses. It is these stakeholders that will create the very environment that we envision for the functioning of smooth parliament. Before I conclude, I would like to leave you with a few words to mull over by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who said, "Let us not forget that government is ourselves and not an alien power ruling over us. A democracy is not merely formed by a president and a congressman and senators and government officials, but by the voters of this country." Thank you.
थैंक यू वेरी मच कृतिका अय्यर। और स्वागत अभिनंदन इस युवा छात्र नेता का हमारे राहुल कराड़ जी के हाथों और आपकी तालियों के साथ। मित्रों, जैसे कि आप सब जानते हैं, भारत के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने पिछले वर्ष 2 अक्टूबर से पूरे भारत भर में स्वच्छता अभियान की शुरुआत की थी और इस अभियान में हम उनके साथ हैं। भारतीय छात्र संसद उनके साथ है और भारतीय छात्र संसद का इस बार कोर थीम है युवा स्वच्छता अभियान। और स्वच्छता को हम और आगे ले जा रहे हैं और हम कह रहे हैं कि स्वच्छता के साथ साथ स्वच्छ शासन, स्वच्छ लोकतंत्र, स्वच्छ नेतृत्व और स्वच्छ राजनीति। और स्वच्छता की शपथ आज हम लेंगे भारतीय छात्र संसद के मंच से। मैं आग्रह करूंगी हमारे संयोजक राहुल कराड़ जी से कि वो स्वच्छता की शपथ दिलाएं।
I request everyone to stand, and I think we are going to give an oath. I think this mission, as I mentioned in my inaugural session yesterday, inaugural speech, that in a holistic way, as we all know, Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad is a platform which is to strengthen the democracy, strengthen our polity and good governance. So here we have to clean. So that's how we are saying the clean democracy, clean politics, clean governance. और हमारा तो उस भूमिका से ये ओथ हम यहाँ पे देने वाले हैं। और स्वच्छता और पूरे भारत की स्वच्छता, मन की स्वच्छता और बाकी सभी चीज़ों का इसमें एक